There certainly are some hyped up whiskey distilleries which keep themselves at the front of our whiskey nerd chit chats. Of course it would be silly to ignore the old school elephant in the room, Springbank, as they are still constantly selling out in seconds, but now we're seeing more newer brands joining the hype train. Ardnam Merkin is certainly in the spotlight and in my view, deservingly so. The AD is great, their 10 release was solid and that Midgie still has me hovering over that buy now button. So much so, I am throwing out my recording and editing schedule to talk about their latest release. It is the Glasgow Distillery with their brand new 10-year-old expression which was gone from the shelves in seconds. So grab a dram and join me, Jeff Whisky, as we dive into this new distillery and see if the hype is well earned or just a fleeting fad. And with that, let's crack on.
Jeff Whisky.
Yes, the Glasgow Distillery Company has just released their first prominent age stated bottle in line with their 10-year celebration. Really, if I thought about this, I could have turned this into a ramble about age statements. Like, do we need them in the growing world of NAS releases? And are we finally getting over the mentality of higher age means better liquid? But I won't. Not this time. In fact, this is going pretty straight down the line. Old school Jeff Whisky review. All I need now is a mustache to take me back to those golden days.
It's nice. That's a good thing, I think.
And just like my first early foray into the whiskey world, I'm still just as cheap. In fact, possibly cheaper. So much so, I didn't buy the bottle. I avoided the hype and the dreaded FOMO. My wallet remained shut tighter than an otter's pocket in the rain.
Wait, what does that even mean?
However, I certainly praise them for releasing a single cask, 10 years old, 54% ABV, fully refilled bourbon at what I feel was a sensible price point. 69 quid for a 70cl release, a celebration release in fact. One that they could easily pumped out of the high 90s and made it a collection piece which would still see the 230 bottles disappear rapidly. What am I doing? Am I starting a jazz band? But before you think I am selling out and singing praises for cash, I see you about to click away. This is nothing from the distillery, but Vin, the Whiskey Tube OG, one of the kindest and most dedicated whiskey spirits, kindly shared a chunk of it for me to enjoy. As you can see, I've already been enjoying it. So here I am sharing it with you to help soften any heartache of missing out. Like 230 bottles doesn't span far. It has got me questioning, why am I covering this small release? It's not going to get me those tasty views. Like, no joke, it's midnight here in the Slap studio. Why am I in front of the camera at this time? I even dug out a shirt for this. Because of whiskey passion, that's why.
Oh, that definitely sounds like a problem, man.
Now, before I go into this review, I will say I am a little bit of a Glasgow fanboy. I've bought my tickets and I've ridden this hype train to the distillery and back. Literally, I managed to visit this awesome distillery a couple years ago, thanks again to Vin for sorting that out. And very aptly, I've got the Glasgow Whisky Festival glass on the go too. It's like I planned this stuff. No, generally for this I haven't, you can see whys in everything. With being a fan, I have chatted with Seb and Libby from their team, good passionate whiskey folk, but they don't know me from any other whiskey punter. Their lightly peated cognac and their no-nonsense whiskey release, a peated PX, is stunning, but I haven't connected with everything. That recent Tokai certainly wasn't my jam. Since I've stepped away from doing direct reviews on YouTube, it feels like everything is under more scrutiny and we struggle to lead with trust, with everyone having a knee-jerk reaction. Wait, this review is pretty much a knee-jerk reaction. Am I the problem?
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am.
But yeah, this is my honest thoughts as an overall fan of the stuff. So let's dive in and give it a sniff. It is like punchy. There's like a lot of fruit. It's not like overpowering, but it is a bit of, doof doof. Maybe this is why I stopped doing reviews. I'm thinking like sweet stuff, strawberries, citrus. Yeah, like an orangey jam, Paddington Bear, marmalade-y, but not like you sometimes find in the thicker sherry stuff. Maybe like lime marmalade. There's some like banana. What is that coconut chocolate? The one that gets left in the celebration box. Either way, let's get sipping. Often I find I pick more on the snout after a sip, so cheers. This is a nice bourbon cask. Like, you can taste the spirit, but it's not in a new makey way, just a pure quality, clear cut way. You've got apples, pastries, classic apple pie, apple turnover, bit of custard. The citrus is there again. Maybe a little less limey, more orangey, also cereally. There's a bit of lemon, but not like soapy lemon in Jura, but more lemon biscuits. Like definitely biscuits, yeah, custard cream biscuits. It's buttery. You can tell that ABV is high. It is dense, it's chewy. Slightly hot, but not like too sharp with alcohol. It's a solid whiskey, and it just shows the strength of the spirit. There's some bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. When I first sipped this earlier, I knew I needed to cover this. It is very different to my favourite Vin's pick, the PX Peated. This is good, very good. Maybe doesn't touch the highs of that Bacon Frazzles Delight. I would say it's on par with their cognac cask, which again is just a fully different drop to this. This is very different. And the fact that I'm actually sitting down here and reviewing this maybe shows that this one's better. I would say there's similarities to the Cotswolds Founders cask, but this feels a lot more fruity and estery and maybe a little bit yogurty, but that flavour, it just hangs high. This is just solid, super solid. It's a hearty, raw, natural punch of a whiskey, and it just shows that their double distilled unpeated spirit is just high quality liquid to start with before it goes in any cask.
All right, we get it.
Putting scores on the doors is a dangerous game, and it's something I really do want to reflect on at one point. I'm aiming for a deep dive video on how, from dram face to whiskey base, whiskey fun and more, all the scoring is very contextual and how much they actually bring to the whiskey landscape. Just know that this is a solid dram. If I could buy one, I would. But as mentioned, sadly they're all gone. I really hope people are opening this and enjoying it. It is too good to be a dusty shelf collector's item. If you've got a bottle of this, I'd love to know your thoughts, and also tell me what you think of this much more straightforward review where it's a case of just sitting down with a dram and pelting my thoughts at you. I've really enjoyed it, and to be honest, there's a lot less research required. Thanks so much to the awesome Bottle Slap Club, my patrons and YouTube channel members. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube guff. I'm grateful to have you here, and cheers to the next one.